How's it going, guys? Welcome back to another video, and this time is a little bit different as far as Yu-Gi-Oh! Videos goes from what I've been doing in the past. This time around, it's actually, I'm responding to a comment from Jaker2202, who asked if I could leave a list of the cards in the Arcana Knight Joker deck. Well, here it is. I'll just run through each card and why I have them in there, their focus. Obviously Jack's Knight, there's two of those, Queen's Knight and two King's Knight as well. Those are obviously because they're the fusion material for this guy, Arcana Knight Joker, who is the focus of the deck. What you want to do with these is you want to summon out Queen's Knight first. Usually, in my experience, I've been lucky enough to get her in my first hand, but it really depends on your luck. And then the next step is putting out King's Knight, because his effect, as you can see there, lets you special summon Jack's Knight right from your deck, which gets him out, which is nice because he's a 5-star, so you don't actually have to tribute to get him. And then by that point, hopefully you have a Polymerization in your hand or a King of the Swamp, so you can get one, and then you fusion and pop out a level 3800 attack monster and clean house with that. Yeah. So, the rest of the cards, you have two of those, two Jack's Knights, two Queen's Knights. Free the Matchless General is very useful to get, as you can see from his effect there. Instead of drawing, you can actually get a King's Knight or a Queen's Knight into your hand from your deck. The problem I have with him, and why I think he might be replaceable for like a Defender or some other stall card or something like that, is because he's a 5-star. It's pretty hard to get him out, because these cards are generally a low attack until you get to low attack and low defense until you get to Arcana Knight Joker, which is kind of sucky. But that's his function. King of the Swamp, you cannot use him in the Arcana Knight Joker fusion. Has to be the 3-card knights: King's Knight, Jack's Knight, and Queen's Knight. His function in here is to get, it basically works as a 3rd and 4th polymerization, because you can use him to pull a poly out of your deck if you have to do it, which is really, really useful. Marauding Captains, 3 of those, because if you can manage to get 2 of them out, and I believe I have Ultimate Offering and Double Summon in this deck, if you can manage to get 2 Marauding Captains out, his effect is you can't target face-up warrior monsters for attack except this one. So you put 2 of those out, and both of those are the only ones that can be targeted by an attack. It creates an attack lock, so your opponent can't attack at all, because it's conflicting between which Marauding Captain to attack, which is really useful. Also, when you normal summon it, you can special summon one level 4 or lower monster, which is really useful because you can get out King's Knight, you can get out Queen's Knight directly from your hand, which, if you're in a jam, very useful, because if you have Queen's Knight already out, you can get King's Knight out of your hand if you have him, which gets Jack's Knight as well, and hopefully you have a Polymerization in there, like I've said before. Marshmallow, not even a question. It's a stall card, that's all it is. Morphing Jar, because we fucking love Morphing Jar. Very useful to reset your hand if you get a shitty one. Sangan is so you can pull out, I believe it's Queen's Knight that has 1500 exactly. Okay, perfect. So you can pull her out. King's Knight isn't eligible for that, but you can get her out of your hand, or out of your deck if you need to. The Immortal Bushi, I don't. He's more very circumstantial. He's also like an expendable card, if there were such a thing. You could probably take him out and put in any other type of stall card that you want, or even a higher defense monster, like I was saying, Defender, or even Clayman. You can't go wrong with fucking Clayman. Don't put Clayman in your deck, it's not gonna work out. But his effect is useful because most of the monsters you have here are warrior types, so you'll be able to pull him out during your standby phase if you have to use him as a tribute for Free the Matchless General if you have to. Future Fusion, very obvious. It's in any future or any fusion centered deck. If you don't know what that card does, you probably shouldn't be playing this game. Lightning Blade, equip monster or equip card that goes towards warrior monsters, can really help you out if Queen's Knight's the only one you have in the field and you need to stall till you get King's Knight or something like that, because it adds 800 attack, and any water monsters lose 500 attack, which could be useful. But I don't really see too many water-based decks, except for a certain someone's frog deck that I seem to always lose to. You know who you are. Monsters Reborn, because it's very easy for Queen's Knight, Jack's Knight, or King's Knight to be destroyed with their low attack. Mystical Space Typhoon, pretty obvious. 2 Nightmare Steel Cage, again for stalling. That's really all their function is. 2 Polymerizations, because it's a fusion deck. You need that. Reinforcement of the Army, super helpful card. I really wish this wasn't limited. I wish it at least semi-limited, because I feel like that would be very useful also. Lets you get a level 4 lower warrior type back in your hand. No, from your deck to your hand, excuse me. A warrior returning alive, which we'll get to, does that function. Smashing Ground, because they're all low attack. If your opponent gets a high attack monster, kind of fucked. Swords to stall, obviously. Plus, it can also be very helpful for if you manage to get out Arcana Knight, and you want to just crank out like a constant 3-hit 3800 attack thing. You can use that so your opponent can't attack you, but you can just keep attacking and keep plowing their life points down, even if they put monsters out. Unless, of course, they put them in defense mode, in which case, YOLO. Warrior Returning Alive lets you take any warrior-type monster in your graveyard and add it to your hand. That does include Arcana Knight Joker. You can put him back in your fusion deck in case you end up, or in your extra deck, in case he gets destroyed somehow, which is also very possible. Alright, let's let these load back up again. Come on, there we go. Mirror Force, because it's Mirror Force. Can't have a deck without it. It's what we call an essential. 3 Solemn Judgments. These, I recommend having at least 1 Solemn Judgment because it can negate summons. That's very, very useful in case they get out like something as far-fetched as a 5-headed dragon or something, or even Stardust Dragon if you had to negate that. That's very useful. Although I'm not sure if his effect is glitched, because before his summon has actually resolved, I think you can use the effect to negate a Solemn Judgment. I'm not sure. Test it out. Let me know. But these other 2, you can either keep 2 more Solemn Judgments or throw 2 Dark Bribes in, which I kind of do recommend because it's at much less of a cost than half your life points, letting your opponent draw 1 card. That's kind of a better alternative. Torrential, it's a last resort. Use it as a last resort. But it can help clear your field in case you need to re-roll something out. And then Ultimate Offering, I'm going to take right now, I'm going to take 1 Ultimate Offering out and say only put 1 in there because of the life point cost, and throw in, if I can find it, you want to throw in Double Summon because it can be used on 1 turn, and you can use that to get more monsters out, which is kind of the focus of this deck, having to get Queen's Knight, excuse me, and King's Knight out. Okay, I'm on DA, DE, DE, DI. There we go, we're getting close. DOO, D, double summon, there it is. And just 1 of those because Ultimate Offering is essentially the same thing, except you have to pay 500 life points to do it, which kind of sucks. And it's a trap, so you can't activate it on the same turn you set it. Double Summon lets you activate it right away, which is kind of why I'd prefer it. You could actually take out both if you want Ultimate Offerings, and you could throw in another Double Summon, but I like Ultimate Offering at least 1 in the sense that it's continuous, and you can keep using its effect to get 2 monsters per turn if you had to, at the cost of 500 life points, which isn't too bad. And then lastly, I showed this in your extra deck, just 3 Arcana Knight Jokers. That's all. It's actually quite a good deck. I was very surprised with these being low attack monsters. It's actually pretty consistent. Usually you're able to get a good setup in your hand that allows you to get a Polymerization early, or even all 3 Knights early, and at least the King of the Swamp. Because do remember, with him you effectively have 4 Polymerizations, 2 in the deck and 2 to get those 2 out of your deck, which is pretty useful. So that's about it for this episode. You can see the complete list here. So yeah, if you guys have any more decks in the episodes that we've done that you're curious about, if I still have them, because I may not still have them because there's only a specific amount of deck slots in the game, leave a comment, ask me to post it up, and I'll do another video just like this, and I'll throw it up there for you guys, help you out. So that has been that. Leave a like if you like Arcana Knight Joker. You should. It's a pretty amazing card. Leave a comment, like I said, if you want any more decks shown, and also if you have any themes for me, because we started this series back up again. And I need some themes to actually do it with. That has been that. Thank you very much, Jaker2202, for your inquiry. Yeah, subscribe to get all the videos at the first. I don't even know what I'm saying anymore. Just subscribe. Just do it. Don't worry about why. All right. Thank you guys so much for watching.